Shalom. I'd like to say all praise is due unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahawashi, Bahashem, Rakakodash, the barned apostles of great millstone, of whom I learned this truth. Peace and blessing to the elect. My name is Conrock from GMS Toronto, doing this lesson, and it's going to be entitled Bearing the Cross of Yahawashi, right? The reason why I entitled that, because we as Israelites, us going out there on the highways and byways, and presenting our bodies a living sacrifice, which is our reasonable service, right? We're going to suffer a lot of loss, heartaches, misfortune, but we have to endure, right? Because it says that the servant is not greater than the master. So, the Lord, like how when the Lord was on the scene, right, doing his ministry, right, he suffered a lot of things, right? And ultimately he was the unblemished lamb that was the sacrifice for the whole nation of Israel. He went on the cross, and he was risen the third day, right? And then caught up in the chariot eventually. But these are the things that we're going to have to accept, right? And that's why a lot of people in the world, they don't want to suffer, right? So I'm going to get you this. Matthew 16 verse 24. Discipleship is costly. Yeah. Then said Yahawashi unto his disciples, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me, right? And that's what the Lord, the disciples like Peter, right, and his brother, they followed the Lord, right, because they were that they were fishermen, right? If any man, and for whosoever will save his life shall lose it, and whosoever will lose his life for my sake shall find it, right? So we're going to suffer a lot of losses, man, right? And that's just the the battle that we're in. We have to go through it, right? And it's going to be a narrow path, right? It's not going to be an easy path. It's not going to be a broad path. We are going to go, it says in a moment, in the twinkle of an eye, the elect will be changed, right? So things is going to, even though it seems like it's hard, right now, but it's going to, the elect, will eventually get the victory. For whosoever will save his life shall lose it, and whosoever will lose his life for my sake shall find it. So I'm going to get you Matthew 4 and 18. So, and Matthew 4 and 18, and Yahawashi walked by the Sea of Galilee, saw two brethren, Simon called Peter, and Andrew his brother, casting in a net into the sea, for they were fishermen. So they were, to be a fisherman, that's a great occupation, because you're always gonna have money, a lot of you're going to have a lot of money, right? And that was a great occupation, to be a fisherman, right? And he said unto me, follow me, and I will make you fishers of men. And that's what we are, right? We are, like we were fished in, following great millstone, and following the doctrine, right? And now we are fishers, and we are fishing out, men, right? We are fishing out men that you know, to come into the truth, and like to be clothed, right? Because as Ezekiel 37, we were the dry bones. We didn't know who we were. We lost our nationality for hundreds of years, right? Jeremiah, I believe it says, Jeremiah, I think 16, or verse Jeremiah 16 or 17, right? I think it says that we're going to lose our heritage. I'll get it. And he said unto me, follow me, and I will make you fishers of men. That's what we're doing, man. And they straightway left their net and followed him, right? So, you know, that they left their occupation and they followed Yahawashi. And that's what we are doing, right? We have lost a lot of, like we have lost, like certain, all of us have different experiences, whether it be a woman, could be losing um your family, losing um like losing your jobs, like like losing an occupation. But we like we continued to follow Yahweh Shai, right? And that's what it is. Like we have to continue to stay on the path, right? Because the Lord is going to try us. He's going to try us individually. Right, we all are going to be tried differently, right? But I'm going to get you, I think, Jeremiah 16 or verse 17. It's like, yeah, book of Jeremiah. I think Jeremiah 17. I think Jeremiah 17 and 4. And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thy heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve his enemies in the land which thou knowest not, for ye have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever. That's what we did. We lost our heritage, right? We eventually, a lot of us, were sold, being trafficked, right, through the whole transatlantic slave trade, from West Africa, as well as certain parts of Europe, Spain, Portugal, England, right? Our people were being trafficked and sold, right? And uh, we eventually, 1969, that was when the truth came. You had men like a man like Albert Bivens, right? Um, that that he was known as the commandments keepers, right? Had his church, right? But basically he branched off and did his own thing, right? And basically he set up the One West, the school of the One West, the Hebrew Israelites, Israelite universal practical knowledge, I believe. And basically, that's the foundation that was built, right? And then you had Elder Yaquab, King Masha, and High Priest Arya, right? And then you had men like Elder Tahar, that's been on the truth for over 40 years, right? Going highways and byways for 40 years, man, right? Making lessons, doing lectures at universities and stuff, man. That's a labor of love, right? So we have lost everything, man. People think that you're crazy, your family, they look down on you. But uh, it says that it said that the last is going to be first and the first is going to be last. So these people that look down on the Israelite men, they are going to be ashamed in the kingdom, man. Right. So let me get Sirach 2 in the GNT, book of Sirach 2, verse 1. Faithfulness to Yahweh. My children, if you are going to serve the Lord, right, to serve Yahawashi, prepare. It says, be prepared for times when you will be put to the test, right? So this is what's going to happen, man. Like the Lord, he's gonna try us individually and see if you're going to follow the Lord, or you're gonna fold. You're gonna bitch up, you know. We're all being tried, individually. Every day the Lord is trying us different ways, right? Just like He did with His, where Abraham, where the Lord, He spoke with Abraham, and the Lord was about he told Abraham to sacrifice his son Isaac, right? But the Lord, He used the angel to stop, that whole that sacrifice, because it wasn't that time, right? And the Lord was trying Abraham's heart, right? And Abraham passed the test, right? So we're all going to be tried different way, just like Job. Job, he lost everything. He lost his family. His family died. If you read the story of Job 1 and Job 2, right? The losses that Job has went through, and then eventually he ended up getting double, right? The Lord blessed him eventually, right? um be sincere and determined, right? So we have to be sincere, right? We're all going to be tried different way, and like you have to be sincere. um you're gonna be checked, like, elders that are over your camp, or the of your church, right? The Lord is going to use His men to test you, right? Making sure that the breakdowns are correct, you know. Like that's sincere too, right? Because a lot of people are proud. It says, oh, like, like when you like it's different things. Like, sometimes brothers, they get offended, right? So it says, the Lord says, He said that blessed is he that's not offended in me. So you have to be sincere, and you have to pray. You have to pray to the Lord that you will get understanding, right? Because this is a meal that we're eating, right? It's like likened unto milk, honey, right? And then a strong meat, right? So you have to, even the breakdowns, it has to be on point, right? Be sincere and determined. Keep calm when trouble comes. Uh, Stay with the Lord, never abandon Him, right? So even when you're going through ups and downs, you're going through calamity, the only thing that you could do is pray to the Lord that He will grant you mercy, and that you overcome whatever affliction is happening to you. Stay with the Lord, never abandon Him, and you will be prosperous at the end of your days, right? And that's what as hopeful members of the elect, we're trying to be prosperous, following the Lord, right? And to receive the benefits of following the Lord, right? Because we are under the curses of Deuteronomy 15-68, right? And when we get the blessings now, right, from Deuteronomy 28 1-14, the blessing that's going to befall the elect, right, following Yahawashi, it's going to be amazing, right? You're going to inherit land. You're going to have rulership, right? You're going to be a nation of kings and priests, right? It says, accept whatsoever happen if Salakia. Accept whatsoever happen to you, even if you suffer humiliation, be patient, right? So we're all being humiliated different ways, you know. And like the Lord, he does different things, right? The Lord will humiliate you, right? But you have to pray, get up, patient. The word patient means to suffer, right? So we're all going to be suffer different ways, right? A lot of brothers have different testimony. Me myself, I had a lot of testimonies too in my life, and especially in this truth. And it's not a easy road. That song with Butcher Bantan. It's not an easy road, and it says that many feel it says it's not an easy road, but many feel I forgot the rest of it, but who feels it knows. So like even though things might look like, oh, everything is good, but we're all being tried different ways. We're all being humiliated, which is a righteous thing, right? Just like we're to be in lot like to be a lot of these people that are in these secret societies, masons and fraternities, right? They have to do like humiliation rituals, right? Which is totally wicked, right? So the Lord, right, on the right hand side, the Lord is humiliating his prophets, right? And because this is the cross that we have took up, right? And if you don't, if you bitch up, right, and you don't want to go through the humiliation ritual, the righteous humiliation ritual, and that the Lord's not going to be dealing with you, man. Be patient. Gold is tried by fire, and human character in testing in the furnace of humiliation. So we're all going to be tried different ways, man. And that's why a lot of guys, um, that are in our camp, like a lot of guys fell out. They're gone back into the world. There's a couple brothers that that are not in our church of GMS Toronto, but they're doing their own thing, right? No, and the Lord, like the Lord be with them, because it's not about GMS. It's all about the doctrine and to be sincere, right? Because the Lord, he knows who is sincere and who is bullshitting, right? Trust the Lord, and He will help you. Walk straight in His ways and put your hope in Him, right? That's what we have to do. We have to continue to pray, that the Lord will walk with us daily, and He builds us our character up. All you that fear the Lord, wait for Him to show you His mercy. Do not turn away from Him, and you will do not turn away from Him, or you will fail. Right. So if you don't want to follow the Lord, you don't want to follow the protocol of being a Hebrew Israelite, to follow Yahawashi, and going back into the world, the Lord's not gonna have no mercy on you, man. So it's a walk, right? And it's not an easy walk. All you that fear the Lord, trust Him, and you will certainly be rewarded. And that's what we're going to reward the elect. They will be rewarded, right? They're going to get crowns, right? And that's going to happen, man. The Lord is going to will exalt His elect, right? When the time is right. Once the last trumpet, the last trump, that's I think Job 5, at the last trump, man. That's when the elect will be changed, right? And they will have the new body, right? Having the new covenant, right? Where the law is going to be in their inward parts. All you that fear the Lord, look forward to His blessings of mercy and eternal happiness. right? That's gonna happen. So that's pretty much it. I didn't really want to go too long. So bearing the cross of Yahawashi, right? So we gotta continue to pray that our Lord gives us understanding and will walk with us daily in our walk in this life that we're in. So with that, let us say our praise due to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahawashi, Ba'ashem Makakwadash. Double honor to pass a great milestone. Peace and blessings to the elect. Shalom.